Calandiac telespectadores GMN TV, ouvintes Nacional FM, no maluk siranebe acompanha live streaming programa idane, tanto husirai liur no mosrai laran. Hasaro malu fale hohau, Francis Suni iha programa Grande Entrevista, iha deit kanal GMN. GMN Lori Timor Bamundo. TimorLeste orasne halo hela serviço preparação hudisimu visita Santo Papa Francisco iha fulang setembro tinangne. Serviço idane envolve la osdeit parte igreja, mai vemos parte governo. Iha edição idane itakar katenemos, se iha Vaticano iha mos preparação ruma, nebe Vaticano tem que halo ba visita idane. Itamos sakara katene, significado husi visita idane, la osdeit ba Estado Timor-Leste mai be liu-liu, basarani no igreja local Timor-Leste niang. Tambane, ato atene resposta pa pergunta hirak ni hotu, hamuto kono hohau e studio GMN Bebora, representante Santo Papa Francisco ia Timor-Leste, Monsignor Marcus Pritzi. Ato fo atene det moskatak, entrevista idane se halo ihalian Ingles. Good evening and welcome to Grande Entrevista once again, Monsignor.
Thank you.
It's so great to have you in this program again. To start, would you please give us a bit of an update on what is happening, what have you seen happening both in Timor-Leste and in the Vatican since the official announcement of the visit of the Holy Pope to Pope Francis to Timor-Leste in September?
Yes, we have given the official announcement on 12th of April, as everybody knows. But we started to work on the visit at the beginning of October. The decision of the Pope was communicated to me on the October 7. That was the Our Lady of Rosary, the feast of Nossa Senhora do Rosario. I received the communication that the Pope decided to visit Timor-Leste, and so I communicated this decision to the President of the Republic, confidentially, to the Prime Minister, and to the Cardinal Virgilio and the other bishops. And I have received from them the confirmation of the joy, of the enthusiasm of the Timorese authority to receive the Pope to visit Timor-Leste. So since then, we started to build up commissions, to create commissions. The Commission of the Church, Equipa da Igreja, the Equipa do Governo, I still confidentially, and the Equipa do Governo, according to the decision of Prime Minister, was headed by Minister for the Presidency of the Council of Ministers, Mr. Agio Pereira, and the Vice Coordinator was the Minister of Statal, Thomas Cabral, and was made with many ministers, all involved in the preparation. From the other side, the Equipa of the Church, Equipa da Igreja, had as a coordinator Cardinal Don Virgilio, and made also of many other people of the Church. By myself, I was the mediator between the Vatican and the government and the local church. So we worked during these 6 months in all the aspects of preparation, and we received a delegation from the Vatican in the month of January. From 22 to 26 of January came a delegation from the Vatican, and they have seen the preparation done until that moment. And they were very happy, enthusiastic of the great work done already at that time by the government and by the church. And we decided still to continue to work until the official announcement in April that was decided by the Pope to do after Easter. Now, after the announcement, we are just continuing. There is not a big change. It's only that we can do openly, and we have not to hide, we have not to do too much confidentially. I was always suffering when meeting the journalist. I could not say openly, yes, it is confirmed. I could only say it is a probable visit, is a possible visit. Now we can say, yes, the visit is decided and the Pope will come. Then we expect the Vatican delegation, Equipa Avanzada, advanced team of the Vatican, to come back for a second inspection from the 1st to the 5th of June, from 1 to 5 June. They will come, they will be staying here. 16 people made the delegation of the Vatican to check all the works that we are doing together with the government and the church for preparing the visit, because you know it is a very complex visit. So I'm very happy and very grateful for the collaboration and the extraordinary effort of the Timorese government and the Timorese church.
Throughout those 6 months period, Monsignor, I guess a question was lingering, thinking why we haven't heard the official date. What is the reason that you have had to keep the information secret for 6 months, Monsignor? Why was that?
Only because until the Vatican is not sure that in that country there are the conditions for the Pope to come and to meet the people in the proper way, the visit cannot be announced. The visit is not 100% sure until the delegation from the Vatican doesn't see that the country is giving all the necessary conditions for the Pope to do the visit in terms of security, in terms of health conditions for the people, especially for the people, but also for the Pope, in terms of the people can come in the city to meet the Pope in the proper condition with the food, the beverage, everything. So the Pope wants to be sure that his visit is a blessing and a grace for all. And for that is necessary to have the right conditions. When everything is checked or double checked with the government and with the church, and the Vatican see that this country is have the capacity to organize a papal visit, then there is the announcement of the date, and we also will announce the detailed program after the second inspection. But already the visit is sure.
One thing I guess not only myself but people are wondering about is when an official announcement is made about the papal visit, what would be the kind of preparation that the Vatican would have to do on the Vatican side for that visit? Because we are only 4 months away, 2 or 3, 4 months away from the visit. So what kind of preparation would Vatican have to do for that particular visit?
I would say that most part of the preparation from the Vatican is to dialogue, to have a relation almost every day with the country, with the different entities of the country through the Apostolic Nunciature, through me, and see and so collaborate with the local authorities and the local persons, also journalists, organization, for preparing everything. So before coming here, I was speaking with the head of the security of the Vatican about certain things that I have to communicate tomorrow. And before I was speaking with the coordinator of the press office of the Vatican about things that I have to communicate also in the next days to the Secretary of State of Communication. So there is almost every day adjustment, communications, decisions, things to be done for everything be ready. There is a specific department of the Vatican with people that works the entire year on the visits of the Pope. This visit in Timor-Leste will be the longest visit of the Pope during his pontificate, because he will visit 4 countries and he will be staying outside the Vatican for 12 days altogether. It's the longest in all the history of his pontificate. He will go to Indonesia, he will go to Papua New Guinea, he will come to Timor-Leste for 3 days, and he will go also to Singapore. So also to put together the exigencies and the different conditions of 4 countries was also part of this long preparation when still confidential. There is also another part that they are working in the Vatican, for example, for the preparation of the speeches and the homily of the Pope. The Pope will give to the Timorese people important messages. He will give an important speech in the presidential palace, Nicolau Lobato, and in that speech it will not specifically religious speech, but more social, political, in the high sense of politics, and yes, a speech to the society. He will meet there representative of all society of Timor-Leste, not only the president, not only the prime minister. It will be a meeting of the Pope with all representative of the Timorese society, and he will give an important speech about society, development, progress in Timor-Leste. Of course they have to prepare, the Pope cannot do everything alone. So from here we are sending consideration, reflections, texts. We are working together with the Church. This is our part, not the government, but with the Church and myself we are working on giving the Pope sources of inspiration, and then they are doing this preparation to propose to the Pope texts, and then the Pope will put his own hand in the final redaction of each speech, and he will put his ideas, his sentiments, his heart, but on the basis of a teamwork. And we are already working on that. Also today I was working on that. To offer to the Pope also a knowledge of all aspects of life in Timor-Leste, also the history, the tradition, the culture, the symbols, the landscapes, everything that can inspire the Pope to address in a proper way the soul, the heart of the Timorese people.
Monsignor, in your work in Timor-Leste, this is probably one of the most important work you have to do, which is preparing the visit of Santo Papa.
Yes.
On a personal level, being a bridge between Timor-Leste and Vatican, how heavy has it been to you on a personal level? You have mentioned you have to communicate with the Vatican every day, and at the same time communicating with the government of Timor-Leste and the Timor-Leste part. How have you taken this whole burden of work in these few months?
Yes, I agree with you that it is one of the most important tasks that I have ever had in my entire career or service. It's more than 20 years, 22 years that I'm serving the Vatican as a diplomat of the Vatican. And I was preparing also, helping preparation of the visit of Pope Benedict in Brazil many years ago. That was in 2006. And now I am on the front line of preparation of visit of Pope Francis. We were, as you know, and many Timorese know, we were already preparing, starting the preparation of visit of Pope Francis in Timor-Leste in 2020. The Pope wanted to come in 2020, and we were ready to receive the first inspection in March 2020. I was already working on that. Then the COVID exploded. We have to cancel the tickets of the flights. They were already coming of the delegation, the advanced team. And so the project fell down and was postponed without a date. Then the condition of the health of the Pope, he had some surgeries, were not that to allow to take again into consideration the visit. So I was a little bit disappointed. I was a bit sad. It was not possible anymore. Then when the Pope decided, as I said, in October 2023, I was exceptionally happy for that. I can compare as important tasks also the work that I did together with the Church for the appointment of the Bishop of Baucau, the selection and appointment of the new Bishop of Baucau. Because that was also a task of the Apostolic Nunciature. The Pope appoint the bishops according to the proposal that comes from the local church through the Nunciature and through the opinion of the representative. And that is also very, very delicate, also for the conscience, to suggest to the Pope one priest, like was Father Leandro Alves. He was the parish priest of the cathedral here, and to suggest him to the Pope after a long work, a long search, was also something very, very important in the life of the Church. So I can compare only that to what we are doing now, the visit of Pope Francis. You said how heavy. Of course it's very heavy, because I cannot forget all the other things that I have to do. We distribute many helps, support to the Church in all the territory of Timor-Leste, money that comes from different entities of the Catholic Church that arrives to me, and I can distribute according to projects. We finance projects. This is also a work important, and we have a daily work with all the religious congregation, with the diocese, with the Catholic University, with all the Catholic institutions. So I cannot stop to do the other things because of the visit of the Pope. I have to do both. But I thank God that He gives me the possibility to do it. I'm not alone. I said that there is a big collaboration from the local church. I'm very grateful to the bishops, to everybody, the priests, the lay faithful that are helping me, the government. And so we do together, we're serving the Lord with a smile and with joy.
With this visit of Santo Papa, what does it mean to the faithful, to the faith of Timor-Leste, to the local church of Timor-Leste? In your view, what will this mean, Monsignor?
Well, this is a very important question. I think that this visit will be very, I hope and I think that it will be very fruitful, very important. I can remember from the history the importance of the visit of Pope John Paul II, Saint John Paul II in Timor-Leste in 1989. And that was a country still under the dominion of another country, of Indonesia. And the Catholic were already the majority, the great majority of the population, but not all could come to Dili to see the Pope. But already at least 100,000 Timorese were there, and in that moment Timor-Leste, as President Ramos Horta used to say, was put on the map of the world. The attention, the international attention was given to Timor-Leste because of the presence of the Pope. The Pope gave more national identity, national proudness and conscience, awareness to the Timorese. And the presence of the Pope was so important for the way towards independence. Now the Pope Francis comes in an independent country, in a country that is ruling itself in a democratic way, according to the democracy, to the rule of law, and to fraternity. There are many, many things that are very good and that must be encouraged, but also there are some risks for the faith of the young people, from secularism, from different and wrong messages that comes from the social media, from the internet, from other cultures that are more materialistic, and so they can influence, especially the young people, to forget the moral and spiritual values and to go astray. Also, many are frustrated because of the lack of job, and so they can go towards violence or other criminal or not proper way of living. So the presence of the Pope will strengthen the faith and the moral identity of the Timorese, and will give again to the Timorese the confidence that you are a great people and you can build your future with your own identity, your own values, with the values of the gospel, in special and being a light, as I say, as Pope John Paul said, a light and the salt for the earth and the light of the world, especially for Southeast Asia. I see also this process for accession to ASEAN that is important for Timor in economic terms, but I think that for the other countries, to have Timor as a model of spirituality and of fraternity is also important. I think that Timor has something more to give to the other countries as an example of human fraternity, human reconciliation, spirituality and faith. And I think that the Pope will give the accent on this special vocation and mission of Timor-Leste in Asia.
Yeah. As you have mentioned, Monsignor, earlier, this will be the longest trip during Santo Papa Francisco's history of pontificate. We have always been wondering why such a long trip and why such a long stay. 3 days is quite long for the Pope, given the history of his visits, as well his condition of his health condition. Why in Timor-Leste? Why in a small country like Timor-Leste? Of course, there's Indonesia, there's Singapore and Papua New Guinea. But as the person who is living in Timor-Leste, in your view, why? Why 3 days in Timor-Leste?
Yes. In my meetings with the Pope, I always have seen how much the Pope loves Timor-Leste. Really. His enthusiasm every time that he speaks about Timor-Leste. He knows Timor-Leste before he was Pope. When he was just a priest, of a Jesuit priest in Argentina, he was dreaming to be missionary in the East and he applied to be a missionary in Japan. But he was following all the situation in Asia and in the East, and he told me that he accompanied all the history of the struggle for independence of Timor-Leste under Indonesia, and how Timor-Leste started to grow as a democracy. So he is following Timor-Leste since the last 40 years, I would say. So I am not surprised that he wanted so much to come to Timor-Leste. I'm sure that he's not putting Timor-Leste as one of the countries. He would come to Timor-Leste even only for Timor-Leste. Why 3 days? Because when we worked with the church and with the government on the program, we have seen that 2 days, at the beginning the idea was 2 days. In 2020 was only 1 day. Then when we started again the work in the end of last year, it was 2 days. But we have seen that for having a specific meeting with the youth, with the young people, 2 days was not enough, according to the other events that we will have. So we proposed to the Pope to have a 3rd day, to dedicate to the youth of Timor. The youth will be all in the Mass in Tasitolu. But there will be also a meeting with the representative of youth in another place, that will be the Centro Convenções de Dili, representative of the youth another day. We will publish the exact program later, but I can just say that. So the Pope accepted. When we sent him this proposal, Holy Father, to have this specific meeting with the youth, we need a 3rd day. The Pope accepted, was modified everything because the other countries to have a 3rd day for Timor-Leste, and the Pope is very happy to stay 3 days.
Yeah. Before we go deeper into the visit and the meaning to Timor-Leste, being the person, being the representative of Santo Papa in Timor-Leste, you have mentioned Santo Papa has followed the issue of Timor-Leste for years. However, becoming a Pope, of course, Santo Papa cannot just have a specific time for Timor-Leste. So as his representative in Timor-Leste, what is your role in keeping Timor-Leste to remain close to Santo Papa's heart, to Santo Papa's memory, so that Timor-Leste remains close to his,
yes,
to his life?
I send reports, as every ambassador do to his country. I send reports more than once a week, sometimes 2-3 reports every week about the different aspects of Timor. Not only the social life and political life, but everything that happens also inside the church, and the meeting that I have and the visit that I do. When I visit, for example, in Easter, during Easter time I went to Baguia, and to Baguia I visited also other chapels and mission stations in the mountains, in the countryside, remote aldeias, sucos, villages. Then I send a report. Of meetings, of the people, of my interaction with the people. So the Pope, you say he has no time, but the Pope reads everything that we send. And not only the Pope. Before arriving to the Pope, there are other, we call superiors, ecclesiastical superiors, the cardinal, etc., that read. They also make some commentary, and then arrives to the Pope. Maybe not everything. For example, administration, these things doesn't arrive to the Pope. But what is about the life of the people, the pastoral life, of the political life, the social, the problems, also the joys. These arrives to the Pope, and the Pope reads. So the Pope knows from the first channel is the Nunciature, and he likes to read and to comment. Then he has also other occasions. For example, he received the President of Republic in January, and he received the Prime Minister that was not yet elected as Prime Minister in August of 2022. And on those occasions also he has a conversation with the head of state and the Prime Minister. He also received the bishops of Timor-Leste last year. For the bishops do a visit every 7 years to the Pope. The last one, the previous one, was in 2014 with Bishop Don Basilio, Don Norberto, and it was Bishop Riccardo. It's still 3 bishops in 2014. Then last year there was the new visit, we call visit ad limina. It's a traditional way of calling the visit of the bishops. And that visit is well prepared with many reports from the Bishops' Conference, the Conferencia Episcopal Timorense, from the Nunciature. They met all the dicasteries, the departments of the Holy See, and they have a meeting with the Pope. So that is also a very good occasion for the Pope to be informed. So he has all these channels. He has also the ambassador of Timor-Leste to the Vatican. Does not have many meetings, but she has meetings with the other superiors, and the superiors can tell the Pope. But of course, the reports that I send every week, almost every 2-3 days, are the most frequent occasion for him to be informed about everything in Timor-Leste.
We talked about what it could mean to Timor-Leste, what the visit could mean to Timor-Leste. On the Vatican side, on these kinds of visits, what does normally the Vatican expect to see? What does the Vatican, as the center of the Catholicism in the world, expect to achieve from the visits?
Yes, it depends on the situation of each country. With the Pope will come other responsible of the departments of the Vatican, cardinals, bishops, will come with him. In the plane of the Pope will be 135 people. The Pope, the Cardinal Prime Minister, we call Secretary of State, other cardinals, other bishops responsible for the different aspects, evangelization, interreligious dialogue, ecumenism, relation with the states, all the aspects, and the clergy, the religious, all the aspects of the life of the church. So in each country there is a different expectation. For example, going to Indonesia, they of course expect to foster, to strengthen the dialogue with the Muslim, because Indonesia is the most Muslim country in the world, with the more Muslim people in the world. So of course they will focus on the dialogue and meetings. The Pope will visit a mosque and he will have many meetings with the Muslim authorities, etc. When he goes in a country where there is a problem of democracy, less democracy, more authoritarianism or dictatorship, then of course he tries to foster, in a delicate way, respectful way, but to foster the freedom of the people, the democracy, the progress of human rights, etc. So it depends on the condition of the country. Here, the Pope and the others, they know very well what are the strengths and what are the weaknesses of our beloved Timor-Leste. So he will try to help in fostering the more deepness of the faith in the daily life of the people. Sometimes Timorese are very enthusiastic in practicing the faith, but sometimes not all the gospel is lived in the daily life, in the moral life. So he will help with his speeches and homilies the people to put the gospel into practice in daily life, but also to help the government to work for the poor people, for develop more education for the children, for the young people, to foster investments in education, foster investment in health. He will be very respectful and very delicate. He will never say this is wrong, no, because he is a guest and he respects. But it will encourage the politicians, the authorities to do as much as possible, as they are trying, to help especially the most needy to grow and to have a society where everybody can have a condition to have work, have a life, a dignified life, and condition to live well. The elders, the sick, the poor, this is what they expect. We don't have other interest, political or military or economic. The interest of the whole of the Vatican, of the Pope, is the well-being of the human person. Not only the Catholics, not only the Christian, but every human person is at the center of the heart of the Pope and the heart of the Church.
With the agenda of the visit, the plan, even though you have mentioned it still needed to be looked at, or the places that Santo Papa will visit throughout the 3 days in Timor. There have been information of certain places that Santo Papa would visit during his stay in Timor-Leste. One of them is one of the the non-communities in the Madre Alma, Comunidad Madre Alma in Panteclapa. What does this particular visit to this place what will it reflect? What message does Santo Papa would like to project from this particular place? I guess many people would expect visit to other places. However, Santo Papa has chosen this particular place for one of his visits during his stay. What message would Santo Papa would like to project to the world?
The message is that the Pope, since the beginning of his pontificate, encouraged the Church to go outside of itself, to go towards the people who are more in need, who are more suffering, who are more in condition of suffering, of need. The Church, according to the teaching of the Pope, has to go also out of the buildings of the church, the sacristies, etc., the parish, and to go towards the small, the poor, like Jesus was doing. So the message is the true message of the gospel. The Pope asked us, where can I go to visit somebody who represent the most weak people, those who are more in need, that I can visit. And the sisters, Alma sisters, they take care of children who are with some deficiencies, some problem of health, as you know, they are poor and they are needy and they are fragile. This is the right word, fragiles. And so the Pope, as Jesus, looks for those who are fragile to give the strength of love to them and proximity and closeness of himself and of the Church. So that's why he welcomed our suggestion among other realities, to visit Alma sisters and the children that are there. And the children will be so happy and will represent all the children of Timor-Leste, starting from those who are more in need, and all the people who are in need in Timor-Leste in a way or other way.
And you mentioned a little bit about the visit of Santo Papa John Paul II, Saint John Paul II. The difference, the political differences between the two situations. More profoundly, what would be the difference, other than the political status of Timor-Leste at the time of the visit of Saint John Paul II, and Santo Papa Francisco now? What are the more deeper differences that we are expecting to see?
Yes, there are similarities and there are differences. Speaking about the difference, I would say the Pope John Paul II wanted at that time, also on that occasion with a lot of strength, because the Indonesian, of course, were not so happy about that, but he wanted to visit Timor-Leste because he was supporting the aspiration of the Timorese people to have their freedom. And so he decided to go mostly to support, to give his help before the entire world to the cause, the aspiration of the Timorese people. He was especially, there was no representative of the Holy Father, of the Pope here, because of course it was in Jakarta and it was not an independent country. So he was most in touch with the Bishop Bello at that time, and Pope John Paul II was moved with what Bishop Bello was telling him about the condition of the Timorese. And so he came especially for that. And of course his message was a spiritual message, but this spiritual message helped Timor to reach his dream of freedom and independence. Now I would say that this is the visit of a very growing, especially in terms of democracy, in terms of self-awareness country. So the Pope comes to an independent country that has no more those kind of problems, that is a safe country, that is a democratic country, that is a country where the values of the gospel are put at the first place of the political agenda. Of course there are things that can be improved, must be improved, but he wants to encourage and to strengthen this path, this direction of the Timorese nation, Timorese country and state. And also he has a great appreciation of the Timorese church, Catholic Church in Timor. Really, the Catholic Church in Timor deserve great appreciation for his closeness to the people during the struggle of our independence and after the independence. And I can witness that, because wherever I go, I visit very much the interior of the country. I go, as I said, in many places, in the mountains, in the remote areas, and what I see is always the presence of the parish, of the church, of the religious congregation, of the sisters, everywhere, close to the simple people. And the Pope wants to point out the Timorese church as an example for everybody, as a church that spread the gospel among the poor, among everybody, and is among the people credible as evangelizers. Of course, also the church can improve in some things, and he will help us to do that. But he also come to witness the appreciation of the Holy See of the Vatican for the Church in Timor-Leste.
As the representative of the Vatican, of Santo Papa in Timor-Leste, how have you seen, and this is more about the preparation on Timor side, what can you say about the progress of Timor-Leste preparation in this journey to receive the visit of Santo Papa?
Yes, we have to distinguish two aspects of this preparation. The technical preparation that is about the organization. For example, to organize the Mass in Tasitolu, where we expect really the population of Timor-Leste to come from. We know that the people want to see the Pope from close, to receive the blessing in person, in presence, to receive the grace, a grassa, that comes from the Pope, that represent Christ. So to organize an event with for building up a safe place and to help the people also economically, to help the people to be able to come, to have transportation, to have food, to drink water, and so to when they arrive to have toilets, to have clinics, ambulances, everything well prepared for being a feast of everybody, a feast of the people. This is something that Timor-Leste is doing well. We did also the day before yesterday a big meeting in the Nunciature with the Minister Thomas Cabral and his equipe, and really the work that they are doing is going very well. The second aspect is the spiritual preparation. And this is more up to the Church. As Cardinal Virgilio also said to the media, they are taking care of the spiritual preparation of the faithful. They are doing booklets, subsidies written for the faithful in every parish, in every community, to prepare spiritually to receive the successor of St. Peter, the first Pope, the Apostle St. Peter, who received from Jesus Christ the task to lead the Church. At that time the Church was made of few apostles and disciples. Now we are 1,400,000,000 Catholics, and then there are the other Christians, reaching 2 billion people. And the Pope is the same successor of St. Peter who has to lead. So how we receive him spiritually, what we have to do, how we have to put into practice our faith, how we can be a community, the Church, a community of love, of faith, of hope, witness of the charity of Christ, solidarity, fraternity. So the Church has to prepare to be more and more kind of mirror that reflects the gospel and the face of Christ. And this is also a preparation that the local church, the Bishop of Maliana, Bishop Baucau, Archbishop Dili are caring very much, together with the priests, the Vicar General, the sisters, as I said. Sisters are so important also in spiritual preparation, so that when the Pope arrives, all Timor will be fit for receiving the maximum of the grace of God through the Pope.
Yeah. On a personal level, again, when this visit is a successful visit, what will it mean to you? Not only as the representative of Santo Papa in Timor-Leste, but as Marcus Price, as a person who has been working, who has been playing a very important role in that process, in the visit.
Well, when I replied to your answer before, if it was a challenging or heavy burden, heavy work, I did not mention my staff inside the Apostolic Nunciature, I want now to say that I'm also very grateful to Father Mariano Quintao do Rego, that is my personal assistant, and to the sisters, Carmelite sisters, Herminia, Balbina, and Fatima, and also all the other staff of the Nunciature that help me in my daily task. This I want to say before TV viewers. Then going directly to your question, what means to me as a person? My friend, Jesus taught us to say at the end of the day, we have done what we had to do. We have done our duty. We are useless servant. This is the expression of the gospel, servus inutilis, useless servants. God can do everything with whoever. He can do miracles with the last of us. So if I had the privilege to be useful, to be an instrument for the success of the visit, of course I'm happy and grateful. But I don't want to focus on myself. I'm just a humble servant. Really, this is what I truly think. And so it will be enough for me to have this joy that the people of Timor-Leste receive well the Pope, and the Pope can see from close, directly, the faith and the beauty of the Timorese people.
And finally, taking the opportunity of having you in this program, what message would you like to leave to the faithful, to Timor-Leste, in the process of preparing and waiting for the visit of Santo Papa?
Yes, my message to the people of Timor-Leste, honestly, I would say that each can prepare in his heart the visit of the Pope, in being more and more a good person and a good disciple of Christ, in the simple things of everyday life. This is the best way to keep the joy of receiving the one who comes in the name of the Lord, the representative of Jesus Christ, of Maromac to us. So in daily life, live the respect, the welcoming, the love for each other human being, for the neighbor, in the family, in the work of place, with those who have offended us, try to forgive, to reconcile. Those who are, especially the young people, to have confidence, to trust in God, in Jesus, because He never abandoned us. Those to strengthen our faith, our confidence in the Lord, and to be a people of fraternity, of brothers and sisters. And so this will be the best preparation for receiving the Pope. I like so much the spirit of fraternity of the Timorese. So this is what I appeal to all Timorese, to increase fraternity, especially the young people, and also those who are most marginalized, those who have lost their job, to strengthen the spirit of fraternity and the confidence in God that will always help us in our daily life.
Monsignor, thank you very much. You have a very busy schedule. You have a very hectic life to live these days with the preparation. However, you still make time for this interview. So thank you very much for the very interesting conversation we have had, and also for making your time to be in this program. And I will see you in the next program, maybe to discuss maybe the same, but it may be a different topic about your work. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Telespectadores GMN-TV, ouvintes Nacional FM, no Maluk Siranebe, acompanha live streaming programa idane tantu si rai lior nomos rai laran. Ho resposta ikus husi Monsignor Marcos Pritzi mak hudi tabanining norohang husi programa idane hau ho ekipa produção tomak hato agradecimento pai tabot sira nebe acompanha ona programa idane husi início to orohang kalandiak obrigado e adeus.